Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Miss Adino, and please go like, subscribe, share, comment. Do not forget to click on the notification bell to get posted whenever I post a new video. Today, I thought to myself, having moved in Germany for 4 years now, why not discuss the cultural shock or the cultural differences that I noticed when I got to get here? If you're if you're new here, I am a Kenyan based in Germany right now, and yeah. So without wasting our time, I would like to move to my first point. Coming to Germany, I realized that everybody has an insurance card. If you came here in an eligible way and have your papers right, then you definitely know that you need to have an insurance. Even when traveling to Germany, you still have to have an insurance. So it doesn't matter whether you are poor or you are rich here in Germany, everyone has to have an insurance card. Unlike in my country, you can walk into the hospital and pay cash. In Germany, you don't have to pay cash. You scan your insurance card and you get treated. Point number two is I also noticed that in Kenya most dogs are stray. Here in Germany, dogs are definitely kept by people in their houses. They are tamed, and so in these houses they stay with them inside the same house, and they feed them. They feed them so well. They are insured, and you have to take them for a walk, and like they basically treat animals very, very, very well. Um, and then also the dogs are allowed in restaurants. The dogs are allowed in shops, and so it's a normal thing. Bars is a normal thing here. Unlike in my country, you only see dogs in the streets or in the houses, and they're left there. You understand? So you don't necessarily have to move around with the dog. The dog will be moving around by itself and just bring itself home. Point number three is that I noticed that we don't throw away bottles. These water bottles, once you're done using the water bottle, you can always go and recycle it. So they have machines whereby you throw the bottle inside, and then it can you either get the receipt. This receipt, you can always contribute this money to the people who really need help, or you go to the cash counter and collect money, or you can reuse it to shop. You can use the money to shop. So yeah, unlike in Kenya, plastic bottles are thrown everywhere, or they're thrown in the garbage whatsoever. I also noticed that what is it called? I also noticed that here in Germany you have to separate garbage, so purposely for recycling. So recycling is a very big business here. So usually you separate the plastics from, like, maybe food that are packed from the supermarkets. You have to separate the plastics. You have to separate bottles. You have to separate food. Food. You have to separate plants also. So everything, the garbage is separated, and usually if people don't separate it, then and you pay for it every month, like every house has a certain amount that they have to pay. And yeah, so unlike in my country whereby we mix everything together, and so it doesn't really matter whether it's food or plastic or bottles or clothes, you put all together. And then I also noticed that in Germany, you start applying for nurseries, kindergartens when you're pregnant, because there's hardly a chance of getting a school immediately when you apply. Unlike in Kenya, usually you apply when the child is eligible for school. So here you have to apply early as possible. The moment you realize that you've passed, I think probably the 4 months, 5 months, and you're sure that you're pregnant, then you already have to start booking a space. And I also noticed that in schools they do not wear uniforms. Most children, they put on home clothes. And like in Kenya, we have school uniforms, so you can't really tell who is rich, who is poor. But here in Germany, I tend to feel sometimes you can actually differentiate because of the type of clothes the children put on. Some children will put on from the supermarket, some people will put on from Adidas, Adidas, like big shops. And so though you can't really also tell the difference, but yeah, you can notice that. And then I also realized that there is a reduced legal drinking and smoking age. Like I noticed there are some children who smoke from the age of 12 years and start drinking at the age of 16 years. Whereas in my country, I think you start drinking from the age of 21. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's from the age of 21. And then smoking, you hardly see children smoking. So yeah, that was another culture shock. And then I also noticed that in different states they acknowledge different holidays. Like for example, in Kenya, if it's Madaraka, all the counties they will celebrate Madaraka Day. But here in Germany, if it's a holiday, different states have different holidays. There's some holidays whereby we all celebrate as a country, but there's some holidays whereby, let's say in Bayan, they celebrate something else, we don't celebrate it here. And then the schools also don't close on the same days. You understand? I think Hamburg we close early than the other states, and yeah, it's usually not the same. So that's what I'm trying to say. And then I also noticed that there is silent hours in Germany, and usually it's 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Everybody's supposed to be loud. You don't not everybody is supposed to be quiet. Sorry, you're not supposed to be loud. And then from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. But this is usually from the landlord. They're the ones who decide on the contract whether you're going to be between 12 to 3 p.m. You should be quiet or what. And I don't know the reason as to this, but sometimes I think it's because the old people they need to sleep, and so you're not supposed to be making noise for them or something. And then I also noticed that in the gym, the showers and the dressing place is usually open, and so you see the next person naked. You can always see them naked during the dressing time or shower time, and so they don't really have privacy when it comes to naked. Being naked is a normal thing. They also have beaches whereby it's separated for the naked people and for the dressed people. So that is one thing that I was shook and I was shocked. Like if you go there as a family and probably you're an African married to the German family and you go to the beach and you see the mother-in-law naked, I mean, what comes into your head? It is so weird for me, but well, that's another culture shock that I had to come into reality with. And so yeah, and then the German people can stare you. They can really stare you. You don't know what they're staring at, but they will just stare you. You understand? So that is something that I'm not used to in my country. Like everybody minds their business, and then there, some of them they can get very nosy, especially not when they don't know you. After they know you, meeting you a few times, they'll start asking you about your private life, like your private life. I'll just leave it at that private life. They'll be asking you so much information, and you'll be like, wow, why is it so? But again, they do respect privacy time. Like your bosses will never call you when you're out of work, not unless it's very critical. But you hardly see this happening. So yeah, and every German has a police trait in them. That is also one thing that I noticed. Like you might think that you're carrying out your normal life on a normal daily basis with nothing going on, but usually there's that one, two, three neighbors who will be always watching at you when you go out, when you're doing something. They're always watching you. So when they're followed for investigation, they will tell the police or anybody everything about you because they monitor you. And I don't know why, because we hardly do this in Kenya, you understand? And I tend to think like sometimes in Kenya we are more relaxed, you understand, than here, because here everybody is working. But I was wrong. People be minding your business but not minding your business at the same time. But yeah, they know everything that you're doing. I also noticed that the driving license in Germany is very expensive and very hard to get. Wow, it costs like about 3,000 euros to do driving. That's like 3,000 is like plus two zeros, so that is like 300,000 just to get a driving license, and it's very hard to get it. And you can study it for the longest time. In Kenya, we are used to it's only 1 month, and it used to be 8,000. I think now it's around 15 to 20,000 but it's still for 1 month. Unlike here, it's a very, very long time. You have to start with theory and then practical exams, something like that. I also noticed that potatoes is the main food here. Unlike in Kenya, potatoes is only for the central province. Here, it's everywhere. Potatoes, potatoes. You eat potatoes, huh? And then they hardly speak English. You can walk into offices and ask them if somebody is speaking English. They will always tell you no. It's always German, German, German. So if you're new here and you're not really well integrated, you might find a lot of problems. So I would advise, if you come to Germany, then you have to learn German and you have to have a little idea of how things run, because it's going to be difficult for you if you can't really express yourself in their language. Most water in the restaurants are carbonated. That's another thing that I came to realize. So in the restaurant, if you ask for water, they might bring you carbonated water. You always have to specify that you need still water, and it's not free. You pay for it, even when it's still water. Still, they will take it from the tap, but they will still charge it. So yeah. On the roads, the drivers are really disciplined. There is no honking and overtaking every time. Unlike in my country, honking and overtaking is a common thing. Here in Germany, the drivers are so disciplined, and so you will hardly hear a honk or somebody or some driver overtaking. So that is one thing that I also love. They are really organized. Another thing that I also noticed is that their markets are very clean and organized. So cleanliness and organization is top notch here in Germany. Like they'll do markets in the city every Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, every Tuesday and Thursday, but it depends with the city. But in my city, it's always every Tuesday and Thursday, and usually it's very clean. Even when they close, you'll never see it messy. Unlike in Kenya, Gikomba, Kongowea, it's really, really, really messy and disorganized and very crowded. And yeah, that is another thing that I noticed. Sorry, I'm reading from somewhere because I wrote them down. Also in Germany, people don't overdo it when it comes to dressing and going to the for night out clubs or parties or stuff. They just dress normal. Somebody might be dressing on a jeans and a t-shirt, or a jeans and a normal fancy blouse, but that's pretty much about it. Unlike in Kenya, we will dress up, we will do makeup, we will do everything. Like party is party, yo. Here in Germany, it's very, very, very rare to find people like really, really, really dressed and with makeup and stuff. And so yeah, in Germany you can't do things spontaneous. You have to always have a plan. You can't just call somebody like today and tell them, can I meet you tomorrow, can I meet you now at around 1 p.m. Is it possible for us to meet up? No, you have to plan with the person so the person can check their calendars and activities if they have any, and then you have to plan, okay, when is it suitable for you, and then you people plan and meet up. Unlike in my country, I can just decide to take my phone and ask, okay, Nyambura, where are you? I'm here. Okay, can we meet at this time? Yeah, why not? And we just meet, you understand? Also, keeping time. In Germany, people keep time. If you tell someone it's 14 o'clock, let it be 14 o'clock. If you come late, it's either you might not find the person, or the person will be very angry because everybody is about the business. You understand? So you always have to keep time. If it's 2 o'clock, at least be there 5 minutes or 2. You understand? So that's one thing that I came to learn about. But even with me, I always keep time since I was in Kenya. So people who don't keep time sometimes amaze me. But yeah, it is what it is. In Germany, the beer is very cheap, unlike in Kenya, the beers are very expensive. So, and also I noticed that here, the Germans, they drink beer very slowly, so refilling is hardly a thing here, unlike in my country. Oh, People drink normal, like nobody thinks it's expensive, but nobody thinks about it. Like licking your glass, it's very hard. If somebody has money, they have money, they will buy it and do it. But for Germans, it's not about the money. It's just their culture, taking one step at a time. No rushing, no doing what. And then I also noticed that here in Germany, people usually split bills, whether you're couples, whether you're whether you're husband and wife, whether you're in a relationship, um, whether you're friends. It's always about splitting bills. In my country, you will find people always like, okay, I'll pay for it. Like it's a normal thing to take over the bill and pay for everything, or you decide to split. You can either go both ways. But in Germany, mostly it's about splitting the bill. It doesn't matter whether you're in a relationship or not. And then I realized also in Germany, a lot of people smoke, unlike in my country. Yes, you'll see people smoke, but you hardly see them. And so here in Germany, like walking in the street, I think you will meet like so many people. Everybody will meet. In every person that you will meet, there's always the third person smoking. In every group of three, there's always one person smoking or two smoking. So smoking is a very common thing here. And then there's a lot of paperwork, so you're always receiving either emails or letters at your letterbox. And like in my country, there's not much paperwork, but here in Germany, expect letters or Gmails every other week. You don't, I mean, it's the order of the day here. Letters and letters and letters. Germans hardly make friends, and most of their friends are usually from high school or university. While in Kenya, we easily make friends. I can go to the bar and meet someone, and we start off as friends. But for Germans, they find that like energy taking, and it's too much work for them, and so usually they prefer just making friends from schools, because most of them, when you interact with them, they will tell you their friends they're from college days or university days or school days. They hardly make new friends. So that is another thing. I think I have so much here culture shock that really shocked me, but I think for the most part I've done most of it. And so please go like, share, comment, and click on the notification bell to get posted whenever I post a new video. Yeah guys, so we catch up in the next video. You all have a good day wherever you are or what part of the country that you are in. I wish you a good day and a blessed day. Bye till the next video.